Okay, hey you guys. So this is the left eye from my divagations on Instagram, if I said that right. So I'm just going to jump right in. The first thing I notice is the bowels are absolutely overloaded with sulfur. I don't know if you have taken a ton of antibiotics with sulfur in them, sulfur drugs, or just had a ton of processed food, but you got a lot of sulfur in those bowels and they need to be cleaned up. You also have a thyroid and parathyroid weakness, majorly, and it's just full of lymph. I see a big lacuna on your left kidney, which obviously indicates weakness. You have a drug spot near your bladder, knee and thigh weakness, pelvic and lower abdomen weakness, and your mid to lower back has a lot of lymph in it. And you just have a lot of toxins in your large intestines. You have bowel pockets, drug spot on the left ovary. I'm really curious if you have had a lot of drugs in your life. You just have a lot of lymph extending up to the head area, a lot of sulfur in the head area, and you just got to take care of that. We don't want any Alzheimer's or anything like that going on. I see a spleen weakness, an elbow weakness, spot on your heart and your lung. You got a lot of lymph in your bronchioles, so that makes me wonder, either you've had a lot of dairy products or have you smoked anything? I'm not sure. This might just be a genetic weakness, you know? Thymus gland issue, and I just see lots of little psoric spots where chemical substances have been deposited in weaker tissues of the body. And, you know, they will lighten with continued cleansing, and you can clean your body out, but it's going to require some work. And I see that you have an autonomic nerve wreath, which represents a weakened autonomic nerve system, and intestinal issues. So we got to work on the adrenals, the kidneys, and just got to clean that up. Okay, moving on to your right eye. Again, you know, the bowels are just full of sulfur, and you have a lot of inflammation in your stomach and bowels. And I see the bowel pockets again. You have a very apparent kidney weakness, and you have a lymphatic rosary, so you're just kind of clogged, and you know, if the kidneys aren't filtering correctly, then that makes sense. So really pee in a jar, make sure your kidneys are filtering correctly. If they're not, get on the raw foods and the herbs, man. What have you got to lose? There's a lot of congestion in the pituitary and pineal gland. I see a right ovary weakness. And a lung weakness majorly here too, and more spots on the bronchial. So again, I'm not sure if you smoked or what's going on with that. And I see a spot on the tonsil, so I'm wondering if you still have them, and I hope so, because the tonsils are the lymph nodes to the head, and why doctors continually rip them out of people, I have no idea. You have a parathyroid and thyroid weakness, back weakness, and comparatively, I think that your right side is stronger with less congestion, so maybe your right kidney is a little bit, you know, stronger, it's filtering better, but it's still weak. So those are your eyes, and just get on the raw foods. Thank you for sending me them, and now we're going to move on to the next eye. Okay, so this is the left eye from Sweet Leaf, and I believe you sent this to me on Instagram, and you just want to know what you would need to work on to improve your health. So what I see in your eye is a spot on the throat and the thyroid. You have a spot on your bronchioles and another lung weakness. I've noticed that we've got a lot of lung weaknesses in people. You have nerve rings, which indicates adrenal fatigue. Welcome to the club. I got nerve rings too. I just see a majorly dirty and weak colon with you. It just needs cleaned up. Major neck weakness plus shoulder blade weakness. You have a spot on your cerebellum, and just lots of weaknesses and inflammation in your brain area. So got to work on that for sure. And just, again, a major adrenal weakness. So your body just needs cleaned up. I think that your constitution is more on the strong side, which is really good. But you got to work on cleaning up those bowels. Again, I'll say this over and over, getting the kidneys to filter and working on your adrenal glands. And I think that, and also your thyroid, because something's going on with that. But yeah, raw foods and herbs, that will help you. Thank you for sending me your eye, Sweet Leaf. Alright, so this is the next eye, Team Broccoli. You are the one that sent this to me. And so the first thing I noticed absolutely is the lymphatic rosary in your eye, meaning that your lymph system is just clogged. And Also, I notice if you see around the pupil, all of that orangey, yellowy, you're just full of sulfur. And a lot of it's up in the head area. So there's a lot of it in the cerebellum, the cerebrum, and your sinuses. And also the cerebellum, that can affect your pituitary and pineal. I think that you have strong genes, but you just got to clean up that lymph system. And I mean, who doesn't in this day and age? But like I said, the lymphatic rosary, and then you also have a kidney and adrenal weakness. And that explains a lot as to why the lymph system is so clogged up, because if the kidneys are weak or they're not filtering correctly, it's just going to make you stagnated and clogged up. There's also a lot of sulfur and congestion in your pancreas and appendix area. There's a thyroid weakness, a lung weakness, and your liver definitely needs attention. I also see a bladder weakness. And I know that I've talked about your lymph being clogged up, but it's really, really clogged up in the neck area and your face. You know, there's a lot of lymph nodes up in the neck area. So just got to get that lymph moving, man, before it just really gets backed up way in the head and just everything gets a lot worse. Alright, so moving to your left eye, I see a significant difference in this, and this is so interesting. And one thing that I've noticed in doing these eye pictures lately is that there are so many differences from people's left eyes to their right eyes and vice versa. And that's because, you know, there's two different hemispheres of the body, there's two different kidneys, two different adrenals, you know, two different sides of the brain. The body really is separated. And so in your left eye, I see significantly more sulfur in this eye and just more congestion in general. And to me, that means that your kidney is probably worse. Your left kidney is worse. And that's, here we go again. I got my notes here. It says that you have a major kidney weakness and adrenal weakness. So it all kind of ties together here. And on your left eye here, I see a lot of lymph in the thyroid and tonsil area. So I don't know if you still have your tonsils, or heck, if you still even have your thyroid, because a lot of people are chopping those out lately, which really has me just really shocked. But yeah, a lot of lymph and congestion there, and you don't want congestion there. I see a lung weakness and just a lot of sulfur, you know, also bowel pockets. So you just got to clean this up, mop it up, and, you know, get on the raw foods if you haven't already, and look into herbs and just really get those kidneys filtering. You know, pee in a jar. I say this all the time, but pee in a jar, see if it's filtering, and if it's not, just, you know, take steps to get you there, because that's just where you're going to find health in this world, is a really good functioning body, kidneys, and lymph system. Alright, a couple more things here. You have major degeneration of the bladder and vaginal area. Like I just said, bowel pockets, and then also the lymph nodes near your thymus gland look significantly backed up. Cerebellum weakness, which I talked about in your previous eye. And I think the number one thing here that I want to rain home for you in this eye is that you got to get working on getting the lymph area cleaned up in the neck, because I just see a ton of it all congestion and coagulated in the neck area. So yeah, that is it for your eye. Thank you guys so much for sending me your eye pictures. Keep them coming, and thank you very much. Adios.